Hey guys, what's going on? Back again with another Zombies video. As you can see on the screen, and I've been mentioning it in a few videos that I've made in the past recently, it looks like the guy in the bubblegum is going to end up being Kortifex slash Richtofen. So I really love the way Treyarch and Sledgehammer have been filling in the gaps from the older maps, like Nuketown. This is Black Ops 2 Nuketown Zombies. And it also looks like it's filling in maybe some storyline that Zielinski never got to finish, because Nuketown, I believe, was from the original Zombies crew at Treyarch, led by Zielinski, and then at the same time they had Jason Blundell doing Mob of the Dead and the origins side of the story, and the afterlife and purgatory story in Black Ops 2. So I think it's a brilliant idea. So I want to kind of talk about some ideas that I have that maybe where this is going, or maybe where it should go, and it makes me really happy to start imagining, even if it doesn't happen, but the potential of the storyline or where the storyline can go. And it starts here in Nuketown because that's where Kortifex shows up on the loading screen in the cartoon comic Bubblegum. Well, I guess it's supposed to mimic Bazooka Bubblegum that used to come with comics. There's small little like 5-cent gums that you used to be able to buy at maybe the candy store, or maybe a bag of them would have a bunch of them, like maybe 50 of those little 5-cent pieces of candy, and each of them came with a comic. So at the time we kind of connected it to Monty and the bubblegum and stuff like that. So I don't know if this is necessarily going to continue with or jive, I guess is the best word, with all the storylines, but it is really cool that it looks like it's maybe going to connect to Nuketown, because if you look at the big mushroom cloud in the sky in Nuketown, I wonder if that's maybe they're going to say, or not technically rewrite, but give us some backstory that maybe that's the construct from Vanguard Zombies, from Duran Fang, Dark Ether. Maybe somehow Kortifex ends up winning. I think in a way, Kortifex is going to end up winning, and again, this is probably major spoilers, but if you start connecting the dots to Black Ops 2 and to Vanguard, he would have to have, unless he gives a backstory of what happened at Nuketown, then it jumps to Vanguard. But I think Vanguard comes before Nuketown even happens. I think Nuketown is in like 2025 or 2045 or something like that in transit. So this happens in the future. So it makes me start wondering, or piecing stuff together, that maybe the mushroom cloud, in our original version, was like a drill from Origins. I know Jason Blundell even changed some stuff, because, and this is what I'm saying, like it really looks like it's continuing maybe Jimmy or the original Zombies crew story, what they wanted to do, because at the time, like, Origins was Jason Blundell's map, and he ended up taking a lot of the storyline and morphing it into his, making it a drill, and the same drill that was at Origins, whereas maybe originally they planned on the mushroom cloud to be like maybe a UFO. If you look at the loading screen again, it looked like it was some type of alien UFO, or it could be now rewritten as the construct. Maybe he ends up winning and he takes the construct to America, and that's how we're going to maybe jump into like Transit 2.0 or Transit Part 2, or maybe a reimagining of Transit, that maybe everything is going to take place. There's no rockets from the moon that destroys Earth. Maybe Kortifex slash Richtofen takes the construct from Vanguard and brings it to the future and destroys Earth, creating Transit, creating Buried, creating Die Rise, and creating Nuketown. That maybe they're going to show in the cutscene the construct at Nuketown, and then it ends up blowing up Nuketown, or ends up blowing up Transit and USA. Well, I guess it would have to be the whole planet, because Die Rise is in China, Buried is in Africa, and Transit Green Run is in America. So it's going to end up probably destroying the whole Earth somehow, which would be really cool. It would not necessarily that we would maybe even get a Transit 2, but it would at least give us some backstory of how all that stuff happened. Like I said, this is just me putting thoughts together, trying to figure out maybe where they're going. Or it could have just been like a side Easter, like, hey, we're going to model Kortifex after, the loading screen. And then also Richtofen from Black Ops 3, because I made some videos explaining all that. So if you missed that, you just kind of maybe Google, what is it? What title did I use, I guess? I don't know. I guess maybe just really recently Vanguard Zombies videos that I made. Because if you look at Richtofen from Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, and then you look at Kortifex, it's literally the same exact person. I'm very interested too to find out how maybe Kortifex went into Richtofen's body, how Richtofen eventually became Kortifex himself. So that's pretty cool to get some idea. Like the mushroom cloud right here, like I said, that may be rewritten somehow as, instead of a nuke going off, maybe that's the construct in the background doing its thing, or a drill. I think in, again, Blundel's version, like in Jimmy's original version, I guess it was UFO, then they rewrote it into a drill, and the drill was looking for, I guess, either Agartha, or the drill was looking for 115. I don't even exactly 100% know what the drill was looking for. I think it was looking for 115 because it looks like it's sucking up some type of like goo, or some type of like something from the middle of the earth. But I always thought that maybe they were trying to find Agartha themselves. Maybe the Apothicons and the Shadow Man were looking for Agartha to maybe control Agartha and stuff like that. So again, it's pretty exciting to see where this is potentially going. Again, the mushroom cloud could be, again, the construct. As of right now, pretty much August 2022, we don't know too much about the construct itself. We don't know too much about Vanguard's story. There is a lot that has to come because, again, we don't know too much. I think at this point we just know that I think Zabala and Kortifex were married and they were controlling the dark ether. I think people I've seen on YouTube are saying that Kortifex is going to lose, but maybe Kortifex isn't going to lose. Maybe, again, for everything in transit and Black Ops 2 to happen, Kortifex would have to have won in Vanguard for him to come to, or maybe they defeat Kortifex and somebody takes over and brings the construct. Maybe we get tricked by, Gabriel Kraft. Maybe we get tricked by somebody, and they end up controlling the construct, and maybe that's like our version of Agartha. Instead of controlling Agartha to control the zombies and everything, maybe they have to control the construct. So I don't know who's maybe going to turn like a bad guy. If it's going to be Gabriel Kraft, it's going to find out to be like the bad guy. But it's pretty exciting because there's a lot of different directions that everything can go. Like I said, it could be we get tricked by somebody. It could be Kortifex wins. Maybe somehow oh, that would be, you know what I just realized? Maybe Richtofen wants to separate from Kortifex, because then, well, that would make a lot of sense too, because I heard, well, it's kind of, not that I heard, but it's kind of common sense that, like, they're trying to find a way to separate the humans from the artifacts, or the gods, the overlords that we use, the specialties that we use to separate it from its, to reverse what's happened, and to separate it from, kind of like the genie in the bottle idea, how they want to separate the genie from the bottle so you're not, confined, or they're not, connected always to the object, the physical object. So this can actually explain a lot, that maybe somehow Richtofen wants to get separated from Kortifex, but then it's supposed to be Von List who's connected to, so that's actually pretty crazy, because you have Richtofen now thrown into the mix. You have Von List who's supposedly connected to Kortifex, but maybe it turns out Von List isn't connected to Kortifex. Maybe it's somehow Richtofen, and Richtofen wants to escape the body of, maybe that's it. Maybe Kortifex is tricking Von List, and he's gonna turn out to be Richtofen. So that's actually pretty cool to find out, like I said, all the potential that can happen. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. It's pretty exciting. I think more than anything, it's exciting because it's has a lot of Black Ops 2 connections, giving us some answers, filling in the dots, or connecting the dots, filling in the blanks, to everything. You know, you can find out. We can potentially find out the rest of Jimmy's story that he wanted to finish, and I don't know. The only thing to it, it has to connect. There's a lot that's gonna have to happen in Vanguard for us to get an answer, unless somehow it's going to Black Ops 2 is gonna actually have zombies, and it's gonna finish off there. Because I think there's too much that has to happen in Vanguard to give some explanation and backstory. Maybe somehow, like I said, it's gonna connect to Black Ops 2 and then also Modern Warfare 2, 2022. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.